thanks to the support as a channel member, Harold Rotmo. Well, here we go then, folks. Phase 2 of this year's non-league to legend begins right here. Club 2, Coventry City. We need to get them up to mid-table in the championship, and in order to do that, we need to figure out how to get them scoring goals. Our top scorer currently has 3 goals, and it's nearly November. We're used to having multiple goal-a-game strikers knocking around at Brackley, so job 1. Find one of those. Hello and welcome to Club 2, Part 1 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a really big game as our first game in charge at Coventry. Are Birmingham officially a rival? They must be. They're not. Weird. Why Villa, but not Birmingham? You would think Birmingham would be rivals as well. They're not. So it's not quite as big a game as I was previously thinking it was, but still, it's quite a big game. We're at home against Birmingham. We're away against Sheffield Wednesday. As you can see, the team has had an absolutely rotten start to the season, but has turned things around in the last 3 matches with a switch to a 4-3-3 DM wide formation. That's all the information I can get. I can't find out what tactical mentality or anything they were using, so I'm having to interpret, but we're going to try and just basically keep this going at least until Christmas. We've obviously got a lot of money to spend. Once we get into the January transfer window, we can start rebuilding the team in my own image. I would love to bring back the 4-2-4 we've been using at Brackley, but for now we go with a 4-3-3. We're down in 18th place. Birmingham are just above us. In fact, with a win today, we can move up above Birmingham, so let's try and do a win today. And this is our version of the 4-3-3 that we're going to be using. Great news that none of the players can play together. Shows they've had a rotten start to the season. We are also training a wing play version of a 4-3-3 and a 4-2-4, ready to switch to that when the time comes. But we're going with one based on a gegenpress because, according to my assistant manager, it's the tactical style that best suits the players we've got. It was the one with the thumbs up, therefore makes sense to be our starting point. It's probably what the club have been using. Close eyes on some of these players who were on the transfer list as well off the back of the previous manager. No decisions are being made on them yet as far as I'm concerned, but we might be taking some players off the transfer list. Like, I don't understand why the club paid £7 million for him. He's seemingly been the best player, yet he's been put on the transfer list. It seems mad. Is he causing problems off the pitch? No. It's just very, very strange. But this is our team. So in goal, we've got Mark Travers, 29 years old, Irish international, formerly of Bournemouth, sorry, not Birmingham. He will start for us in goal. At left back, we have Liam Scales, who is 30, formerly of Middlesbrough and various other teams. Liam Kitching, who we know all about. We've had him in many saves in the past. I question whether he's actually worth £25 million. But if someone wants to give me £25 million for him, he can be for sale. He's 29, 6'3", and will be our main aerial threat at set pieces. Alongside him is Robert Rojas, who is too short to be a centre-back, and we are looking to replace him as soon as we get to January. And then at right back, it's James Bree, another 30. It's a very old back four. We need to bring in some young defenders. In front of them, we've got Josh Eccles as a ball-winning midfielder. And then young Joey Keating, who's come through our youth setup, has never previously started a game for Coventry. So he is my statement. Bring him in, start him and say, there you go, start of a new era. Let's play the youngster. The fans are probably absolutely over the moon that someone's finally done that. And he'll partner Jack Rodoni, who's going to play as Mazzala. He's a player who I've had a lot of goals out and a lot of success with in previous versions of Football Manager. So I'm a little bit surprised to see he's not yet scored this season. And then the front three will be Efron Mason-Clark playing as an inside forward. I expect to see a lot more goals out of him than he's scored so far. On the right, we have the transfer listed Dennis Johnson, who I guess he's just trying to put himself in the shop window. And then up front, David Okereke, who is wanted by Charlton. If they want to give me a gazillion pounds for him, we'd consider letting him go. He is our top scorer this year, but with only 3 goals. That's just not good enough. We need to be doing better than that. So let's get the team submitted and hopefully carry on with how things have been going over the last 3 matches. It's one of those really awkward situations coming in as the new manager, because there's no real new manager bounce that we can offer here. The previous manager got sacked. then the club won 3 games in a row. The fans are probably all thinking whoever was caretaker should have taken over as manager. And meanwhile, we bring in this handsome son of a gun from League Two who's never managed at this level, never played at this level. And unless we come in with an immediate win and looking better than we've looked in those previous 3 wins, the fans are going to be questioning me immediately and wishing that the caretaker manager was still in charge. So that is very, very important. Youngster Keating, massively involved in midfield. We've got him set up as the playmaker, and this is great from him. Got 2 men on him, but plays a beautiful ball through for Johnson to run onto. He gets in behind his fullback, drives it across the face of goal, and Okereke is there to finish. And that, lovely. Sign of things to come. We want more stuff like that, please. We are training a long throw. We tried to do one there, and as you can see, it didn't really work the way they were working for us at Brackley. And that's the kind of thing that will probably take more than the 2 or 3 training sessions that we've had so far. But it's Scales on the left, plays it into Mason Clark, across to Okereke, and his shot is pushed wide by the Birmingham goalkeeper, and we've got a corner. Again, we've been training corners, but I suspect we're not going to be scoring loads of goals from them immediately after just a couple of training sessions. But obviously we are going to be looking for our usual mix of near post and far post in swingers and the odd out swinger like we had there. But the main plan, it's always very simple. Liam Kitchen, 6'3" and good in the air. We aim for him. And that is the one line summary of what we do with our set pieces. Aim for the big guy, and hopefully sooner rather than later he'll start weighing in with a few goals for us as well. There's Keating again, the youngster in midfield. He's my boy. He'll go down in history as my boy. I gave him his first start for the club. Now we build the team around him because everyone else is an old man. Scales on the left. He's looked dangerous going forward so far, trying to play it into Okereke. Can't find him. Mason Clark couldn't get proper contact on it either, and it comes back out towards Scales again. But he's playing on a very attacking instruction and got caught a little bit out of position there. He's on a yellow card as well, so needs to be a little bit careful. He's looked good going forward, but we don't want him to go and get himself sent off defensively, because that wouldn't be ideal. They've hit the post there, Birmingham, but now it's with Mason Clark with the chance for a counter-attack. He's taken a really heavy touch though, and it's straight into the Birmingham defender, and the move just kind of peters out a little bit. As things stand, there's your confirmation that we would leapfrog over Birmingham, moving up to 15th place. The board are just happy with mid-table this year. I'm obviously looking at a decent squad who look like they're capable of putting a decent run of form together. This would be 4 wins in a row. So I'm looking up at the playoffs thinking, we're only 7 points behind them and it's not even halfway through the season yet. If we can keep this run of form going for a little while and then complement the squad with the right signings when we get to January, there is no reason at all why we can't have a playoff push this season. And now that I'm not Brackley manager, hopefully the playoff curse, that is more theirs than mine. Hopefully the playoff curse has gone with them and we can start to push on. Right, this is where I need to work out who can come on. Mark Leonard, I think, could probably do the Mazzala role. Yeah, he can come on for Ridoni. So he comes on there. This guy was who my assistant manager would have brought on. He's more of your playmaker replacement. But I want to keep Keating on for now. We are going to take off Scales, who is carrying a yellow card. Can he play left back? He is a young 5'5" left back. Another youngster. Yeah, let's get another youngster on. Let's show that we're all about the youth. And then have we got someone to come on at right back as well? This guy, a 32-year-old Czech international. Not quite being all about the youth, but we've got to keep the wing backs fresh. So much of what we do is about getting those wing backs forward on the overlap and causing all kinds of problems in the wide areas. So obviously we need to keep things nice and fresh out there. Another good ball from Keating. He's got nice, crisp passing about him. Rojas, that is terrible. That was our right centre-back who has just left us in an entire world of trouble by trying to play the ball across to basically to himself. That's where he should have been standing. There was nobody else there. I don't know what he was trying to do. But we have a corner. It's Leonard. We've gone shenanigans. Mason Clark into the top corner. It's 2-0. I hold my hands up. I didn't teach him that. I don't like this shenanigans corner. But I hate it when it happens to me. And it's a very rare occurrence when I actually get to score one. Lovely finish from Mason Clark, though, up into the top corner. I am expecting a lot more from him than he's delivered for us so far this season, and that is a nice way to kick off the new era under a manager who believes in him and has a proven track record in this save of favouring former Peterborough players, and Mason Clark returning the favour again with his second of the game. It's another absolute screamer, and Ephron Mason Clark looking like everything I remember him being from when he was still playing for Peterborough. You saw what I did with Ionvian at Brackley. We're going to do it with Mason Clark here. He's going to become the best player in the Championship. What a finish. 3-0. This is what I'm talking about. The fans now get it. They might not have understood before why the caretaker manager didn't get the permanent job. This is why. Because we're going to be playing this kind of football. We've dominated Birmingham today. This is 4 wins on the bounce. Yes, I only won one of them, but let's not get bogged down in details. It's 4 wins on the bounce, and we're going to try and make it 4-0 here with the counter-attack. We've got 3-on-2 if we release the right man. The right man, of course, is Mason Clark. He tries to go past his defender. He's causing all kind of problems. He's got the ball again, trying to turn that guy inside out. And Leonard wins the ball back. Okereke! And that is 4. It's a 5th goal of the season now for him. He's got 2 today. Mason Clark's got 2 today. I said at the start of the episode, job number 1, get ourselves some goal scorers. There you go. There were 2 already at the club. They're going to score a few goals for us this season. I think they just weren't being used right by the previous manager. 4-0. What a way to introduce yourself to a new football club. Premier League, here we come. There's nothing like setting the expectation bar high. We do like a high expectation bar, but that is a glorious first win in charge of a new football club against a local-ish rival. Well, we've signed a couple of players on a free transfer. We are going to have to stop doing that because I've just realised I could only register one of them, because although you can register free transfers throughout the season, there has to actually be a squad spot. Max Elaine was the first in and was the 25th member of the squad. He looks decent, formerly a Manchester City and Southampton youngster, 23 years old now. We needed a younger, more mobile centre-back to partner Kitching, and now we have one. But then we also signed Mohamed El Al-Rouch, who we can't register despite the fact he's very, very good. He played 24 games for West Ham in this league last year, but because we have a 25-man squad already, we can't register him. So I guess we wait until January now before any more signings come in. That means we can make a change from the previous game. In fact, we were forced into the change. Kitching is suspended, so Scales moves over from left back to partner Elaine, who's going to make his debut, and Buchanan comes in at left back, who very easily could have been the starting left back anyway. I mean, it's mad. This is another mad signing. Coventry spend 8.75 million on him, and he's not started a game yet. What on earth was the previous manager thinking? No wonder he got fired. Football Manager squad building is absolutely bananas. So there you go. We're giving a debut to an £8 million defender. Things have changed a little bit since life at Brackley. Yeah, we had a tycoon, but this is mad. So fingers crossed, Buchanan's quite good. If he's not, we'll try and cash him in January and get our £8 million back, because I can think of better ways to spend it than a reserve left back, especially a club that is distinctly short of options at centre forward, centre mid, centre back. But at least we've got loads of left backs. That's the important thing, I guess. Right, Travers with the goal kick gives it to the debut boy, Elaine, who plays it forward to Bree. And now Johnson on the right-hand side comes in field, gives it to Radoni. There's Okereke. Mason Clark's run ahead of him, but we lay it off to Buchanan instead, who comes in field, lays it across to Keating, my youngster, who gets an assist. I think has that been given? There's no flag up, and I don't think we have VAR in the Championship, which means it's an absolutely stunning through ball from Keating, who is going to be a star. He's looked brilliant in both of these matches so far, but this is good work from Buchanan. Keating takes a look and then plays an Odegaard level through ball. Absolutely beautiful stuff from him. We're 1-0 ahead. And now Sheffield Wednesday with the corner, and Okereke heads it out back towards the corner taker for Sheffield Wednesday, who darts into the area, and that was just too easy. That was far too easy. I mean, we've kind of got a bit of a makeshift defence going on. No Kitching in there today, and a debut as well. And we look like it's a makeshift defence because he's come through us so easily there that he should not, from that position, be able to get to where he ends up without any contact with one of our players. That's just sloppy defending, but We're new. We've been here like a week and a half. There's going to be iffy stuff. This club weren't in a relegation battle when I arrived for no reason. And it's going to take a little while to plug all of the gaps and deal with all of the silly little bits of nonsense like what we've just seen. And frankly, I know we've won 4 in a row, but coming away against Sheffield Wednesday and picking up a draw is absolutely fine based on the form Coventry were in for the first half of the season or so. This club has lost more games than it's won or drawn this season. So anything that's not a defeat is a step in the right direction. Buchanan trying to deal with things at left back, doesn't really get involved, but between Rodoni and Mason Clark, we do get the ball back. And there's Keating again. Can he hit another beauty of a through ball? He decides to lay it off simply to Johnson, who gives it back to Keating. Now he's got another option for a lovely pass, sprays it out to Mason Clark, who nods down to Rodoni, who does quite well to keep hold of the ball. It's back with Keating again. I think he might have a shot here. In actual fact, he took it a little bit too far, gave the ball away, but it's now back with him again. And he plays it over the top beautifully to Mason Clark. And there's another goal and another assist for Keating. I need somebody to explain to me how that boy had never started a game before I arrived, because he is brilliant. I mean, the passing on him, look at this. Just one look over the top, 2 beautiful assists today. He is going to be a superstar, and I am going to take all the credit for it because I'm the one. I invented him. Coventry didn't know he existed before I came along. I plucked him out of obscurity and made him great. Right, Bree wins the ball back. It's with Keating again. He's just so calm and close. He's only 20 years old. Look at that for a touch. Plays it off to Rodoni and now Mason Clark. Heavy touch from him, but comes away with the ball, and it's back with Keating again. Everything comes through Keating. That one was a bit of a misfire. He was looking for the run of Okereke, and he didn't make the run, but it was the right idea. I'm going to continue loving this boy because he has been so good so far. But it is Sheffield Wednesday with the ball again, and they're coming through our midfield quite comfortably. This is, I guess, the problem with the midfield being set up the way it is, very much with an attack focus with Keating and Rodoni in there. We don't have a lot of defending in our midfield. Eccles is doing that job on his own and not doing it very well. But I think that one's been disallowed for offside. It has. Obviously, at Brackley for the last number of seasons, we've had 2 defensive midfielders in there. And certainly with the way we push the wing-backs on, 2 defensive midfielders is handy. But I don't want to nullify Keating's goal creation by playing him deeper. It's another good pass from Keating. Eccles now to Mason Clark. Sold him very short, but look how far forward our fullbacks are. And this is the problem with just the one defensive midfielder. We might have to just tighten the reins on the fullbacks a little bit if we're only playing with one guy sat in front of them. Mason Clark has come deep to help out and doesn't know what to do with it. Gives it to the keeper, which is probably for the best. The keeper with an insane pass for Elaine, but just about gets away with it, and the highlight ends, which is not a moment too soon because it looked like we were getting ourselves in an awful lot of trouble there. Mason Clark is tired, so we're going to give an appearance to the youngster. We looked at him in the previous episode when we were deciding whether or not to come here. This is our exciting youngster, Jaya Bonner, who we spent £2.6 million on from Lincoln. And again, he's never started a game for the club, despite being a big money transfer. I'm baffled about how this club has been run. Right, we have a 31-year-old Brazilian who's not played at all this season. Get him on the pitch. I can't work out who's been playing for this team. Let's get the Eleftheriadis on again, who we brought on in the last game. He can come on from Buchanan. Buchanan wasn't all that, was he? And we've got so many left backs. If someone wants to give us 5 million for Buchanan, we may as well take it. We've got so many left backs at the club. We don't need the one who we've barely used and doesn't seem particularly good. Elaine is shattered, as you would imagine, not match fit at all. So Rojas comes on for him, and then we'll take off Eccles, and Eiting can come on for him. That's all our substitutions done. Defending a narrow 1-goal lead, only 6 points behind the playoffs as it stands currently. Still on a negative goal difference, but we're going to fix that because this is 5 wins in a row if we hold on here. And it's Scales playing it across, looking for Rojas. I mean, have we gifted them another goal? We already gifted them the first. Travers, luckily, is there to pull it down out of the sky, but so sloppy again. We've seen multiple examples of real sloppiness from our defenders across both of these matches. It's definitely a problem that we need to fix and fix quickly. But Keating in midfield, has he got one more super pass in him? for a hat-trick of assists. We'd like to see it. Bree has run himself into a little bit of trouble here, but does well to come away with the ball. And that's our Brazilian boy playing it across to Eiting. And he gives the ball away, and Keating can't make the tackle. And Eiting, luckily, cleans up his own mess. And Radoni's got himself into the number 10 position there, playing very advanced for the 90th minute when we're 1-0 up. That's how we roll. Bonner into Okereke. Okereke shoots from range. He's hit the crossbar, but it comes back out. And now Bree to Keating. Keating all the way back to Rojas and then back to Keating again. And he's not really got anywhere to go, but does quite well to just keep hold of it and play it all the way back to the keeper. Can we just get it up the other end of the pitch though, please, lads? I don't trust these defenders in possession of the ball. Radoni, I've said his name about 4 different ways this episode. Bonner's given the ball away there, but got it back again and then given it away again. Lovely stuff from him. Send him back to Lincoln. Goodness me. Still 2-1 though, and that is 5 wins in a row. Coventry are going places. I'll meet you at the January transfer window now, I think, because it looks like it's just going to be a fairly simple mid-table season unless we do something very special in January, which is what I'm going to start trying to conjure up between now and then. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.